Hey everyone, in this video we're going to do two projects, both of furniture my wife found at the flea market, and both of them the finish was worn. The first one is a rocking chair, the second is a magazine rack, and they're both kind of that golden oak that was big in the 80s and 90s, and the finish is worn, worse so on the magazine rack because of, I guess, people gripping it all the time, or I guess. But what I use on it is this Helmsman spar urethane. Now, spar urethane is a little bit more flexible than regular urethane. It's also weather and UV resistant, so it's mostly waterproof, as we will see later in the video in extreme fashion how waterproof this stuff actually is. And in any case, I approached it two ways. The rocking chair is the first part, and that had a lot of carvings on it. And knowing that it was going to a second grade classroom, I didn't bother sanding it at all. I simply applied this, and the results are surprising. The magazine rack, the finish was worse, and so what I did was I did do some light sanding before I applied this. But in both cases, I think you're going to be really surprised at what you can do just by brushing this stuff on. That's all you do to apply it. You can get it at hardware stores, Amazon, wherever. So anyway, let's get busy. My wife picked this chair up, this rocking chair, up at the flea market for 10 bucks because the finish is shot. See that? It's all worn out on there. So, what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to fix it. We could do a lot of things, but whereas this is going to go in a classroom and get a lot of use, I'm just going to use this Helmsman Minwax, and I'll show you what we can do. There appears to be some dirt here. Let's go to the other arm. Now see where the finish here is all worn. Now we could add some stain, but this looks to be just oak. And so all we're going to do is put one coat of urethane on top of it. And that's all it really needs. Whatever artificial yellow they had, if they had added something to this this won't replace. But let's look at this. Sure, just let me turn it towards the sun. Okay. As you can see, here's a before, and there's an after. Get another brush full. It's pretty easy to apply. I mean, you're literally just brushing it on. This is a textured, or carved rather, but see that corner right there that we just fixed it now. This is very worn up here. Let's see how well it does. See that? Brings it right back. All right. That's it. That's all you got to do. So here's your before on the arm, and here's an after on the arm. That's it. All right. You can see on the seat, there's quite a few scratches on it. Let's see how it does on that. One of these scratches apparently was caused by a red pen or something. Look at that. Fills them right in. And this is going to be heavily used in a classroom. So I'm not trying to get a perfect finish. I'm just trying to make it so it doesn't look worn out and it doesn't wear out any further. Look at that. So here's our before. And here's after. Hopefully you can see that. Put a little bit more on. So this side is done, pretty much. We got our 4 right around here. You can see it. Let me give you a close-up of exactly what we're gonna do. Right there, see how all the white and everything in there? Gone. Just wipe it right in. I got a bit of white paint on there apparently. Oh well, that's not coming off. That's it. Pretty easy. Picked up this old magazine rack at the flea market. It's headed for a 2nd grade classroom where it's bound to get beat up some more. But the finish isn't that bad, like on the sides. It's really just all the edges. It's bound to get damaged in the classroom as well, so I wouldn't spend a lot of time on it, but I figured, well, you know, let's see what I can do in 20 minutes. Let's get busy. It's that same kind of golden oak looking finish as the rocking chair. There's some dust and dirt in it, but we'll clean that out before we coat it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a well-worn sanding block and kind of just even off this finish that's worn on the edges. While also looking for signs where there's glue or something like that, like right there's glue. See, this finish comes off so easy. Look at it, it comes off basically like powder almost. We'll just kind of scuff it up on the edges. That's some water damage. That's what that is. Interestingly, the bottom of it was never actually stained. I don't know why that is, but I will be staining it. I just want to get it so it feels a little bit smoother. The worst place. Alright, that's pretty much it. So let's blow the dust out and see what we can do. So we're going to use same as we did on the rocking chair. Gonna use Helmsman. It's pretty tough, and it seems to work well with this stuff. Alright. If nothing else, it'll protect it, but let's see how well it does at hiding the imperfections. Let's watch particularly this edge. See how well it does. Pretty good, look at that. So we just went from that to that. And all we did was a light sanding and then added some clear. I think this thing's gonna come out great. I'll do this main handle last. Because I'll use that to move it around. Just gotta watch for drips and runs because they'll kind of dry pretty quickly. It's quite hot out right now. Let's do this. You do have to kind of put a thick coat on to get it to cover everything, but it does a good job. I do have some pencil marks here. Just sand them out real quick. Yep. I'll do the bottom. This will absorb a lot actually, but it will protect it. And it'll look a little bit better. Alright, did I get the insides? I think so. A bit more there. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I got the inside down there, but I think I did. Yeah, I did. Just look everywhere for runs, because runs will ruin this. Before I do the handle. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, I got a brush fiber. Okay, just got to do the handle, and then we are done. At least except for the bottom, but can't do the bottom just yet. Brush fiber. It's a cheap brush. What can I say? All right. Did we get all this done in 20 minutes? I'm not sure. It's pretty good. All right, I'll be back when it dries. Well, went in for 20 minutes, came out, and it's pouring out. Hopefully it was dry enough. Still a little sticky. Well, that's the way it is in Florida. You never know. I mean, it was hot and sunny. 10 minutes later, we got this. I caught it early, but it came down so fast. It's soaked. Everything's soaked. Looks like for the most part it was dry. Good thing I used the Helmsman waterproof. Sorry, it's quite loud. We got thunder and I'll get the bulk of the water off of it before it has a chance to soak in. Florida. See if I can find some dry paper towels here. These are all wet. Ah, here we go. Here's a dry one. There's another dry one. gotta say, that Helmsman is good stuff. It worked. I guess I'll be back to wrap up after the storm passes. Whew. Well, that's life in Florida. 20 minutes ago, I left it out to dry, took my eyes off of it, and the storm kicked in. And it is a doozy. Wow. I mean, just look at that. I'll be back to wrap it up. Looks like it didn't do any damage to it, so I'll be back. All right, and with that, another 20 minutes later, the storm seems to be passing. Doesn't look like any real harm done. I'm more worried about the water that got in all over my cart. I'm gonna have to take this stuff up, but it didn't damage the finish on that at all, which is great. That's why I use Helmsman, because it's going to a second grade classroom. They could spill stuff on it, whatever. And Helmsman is waterproof, and it's outdoor urethane. And look at that, it still looks great, even it got totally soaked. All right, so I'm gonna clean up. I got quite a bit here. But let me show you the Helmsman now that I can walk outside. There it is. Good stuff. Put that work and dry off. All right, the storm has passed. I brought the magazine rack inside to let it fully dry out with the air conditioning. The weather out here has settled back into its normal hot and humid Florida weather, but fortunately, because I used the Helmsman outdoor and it had about 20 minutes or so to soak in, and it was pretty hot and in the sun, it dried completely, and so I have no damage, no water damage to that. The rocking chair I had done weeks ago, that's already at the school, so there's no damage to that at all. So anyway, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Really helps. It's a growing channel, still under a year old, and that really helps. And if you come across some old oak furniture like this has the 80s, 90s look to it, and the finish is worn and all that. Little sanding, very little sanding actually, and some Helmsman urethane on it, and it looks really almost as good as new, like really close to as good as new. So don't be intimidated. You can do it. Just go out, get busy. Take care.